welcome to this week's Thursday 30. We've got Wilhelmine and Barbara here from Assistive, and they're going to give us an introduction to Proloquo and Proloquo Coach this afternoon. So I'll hand straight over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. As said, Barbara and I will be giving you a small introduction to Proloquo and Proloquo Coach. We're going to try to do this in 30 minutes, so we're going to rush a little bit over it. But if you have questions, let's try to get some minutes in the end to see if we can answer some questions. My name is Willemijn Wetsels. I'm a SLT in the Netherlands, based in the Netherlands. I've been working with AAC for over 13 years now, and I've been working at Assistive for the last 6 years. The last 3 years of my Assistive work I've dedicated to develop the vocabulary crescendo evolution that you will find in the app Proloquo. Barbara, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, let's do that. So hi from the Netherlands also. My name is Barbara van het Westende and I'm also an SLT in the Netherlands. Working for Assistive for almost 5 years now. And before that, I worked in special education for 20 years. So AAC was always high on my agenda for working with students. And I'm one of the people who create the content for Proloquo Coach, which is one of the apps we will actually show you today. So Willemijn, you can move forward.
So, who are we? We both just have explained we are working for Assistive, and you might know us from the app Proloquo to Go. But Assistive, that's the company behind the app Proloquo to Go and the app Proloquo Coach. Assistive is a company that's based in Amsterdam. We are a company with a social mission. We want to make sure that AAC is out there in the world, and we want to make sure that it's an effective and accepted means. Oh my God, all SLTs are going to struggle with this sentence, right? Why did we do this? Of communication. So we want to make sure that everyone who needs AAC is able to get AAC, use AAC, and can express himself in our community. Barbara, can you maybe tell something about the obstacles?
Yes, I can share something about the obstacles to effective AAC and some research insights that we did. So if you go to the next slide, Willemijn. Because we did some research and we looked at the pain points that mostly parents have in starting their AAC journey. And we found out that in your AAC journey, you have actually 4 phases, like the researching, the preparation, getting started, and at the end, you will be in the consolidation phase. And on the left, you will find the pain points that parents experience. So they often feel overwhelmed, they'll have a lack of knowledge, they feel alone, it's hard to get others on board, modeling is hard, and the app most of the time has a big learning curve. You can go to the next slide, Willemijn. Next to the pain points of parents, you'll also look to the pain points of educators, which are also insights from user research. And we found out that AAC devices and apps are hard to learn. And you will probably recognize that there's a high staff turnover and it makes it harder to train or to be trained on AAC. And in many of the classrooms, every student has a different or differently configured AAC systems, and it makes modeling really hard. And training classroom teams and paraprofessionals is therefore very difficult. And the other thing we found out is that most of the AAC system lack an essential academic vocabulary, which is actually very useful to use in schools. Willemijn.
So as Barbara is explaining, we did some user research for both the educators and the parents. But as Proloquo to Go has been on the market for quite a while, and we knew that Proloquo to Go is a very successful app. It has one of the highest ratings in the App Store, and a lot of people know their way to Proloquo to Go. We know that when we when we put Proloquo to Go on the market, we democratized the access to AAC. So there were a lot of good things on Proloquo to Go, but we also knew that we had a few pain points as well as assistive wear. So if you look at the configuration data for Proloquo to Go, and this data has been collected anonymous for over 50,000 of our active Proloquo to Go users and only English users, then we can see that a lot of people are making an effort to configure Proloquo to Go not in the default way as we advise people to set up, which is the 7x11 or even more buttons in the intermediate core. Which in the UK, 20% of the users is actually using. But you can see that 31% in the UK is actually using less than 20 buttons intermediate core, and 21% of the users within the UK are using basic communication, which is created as a step-up model to intermediate core, but you won't be able to go and create all the to go and hit all the communication functions as you are communicating. So if we look at the word use, if we look at the communication data for Proloquo to Go iPad users, then what we see is that only 11% of the words that are being used in a day are unique words, which means that there is a lot of repetition, and repetition is okay if we probably repeat a lot of core amongst the day. We know that 80% of the words that we use is core, so you would presume that there's a lot of repetition when we're looking at core. But only 33% of the words that we are using, that our users are using within Proloquo to Go, is core. We took a little bit of a more thorough look to the words, and then we could see that those repetitive words that we find are often words like colors or food. So there's a lot of requesting and choice making that is happening at this moment in Proloquo to Go. So people are going their way to and doing a lot of effort to not use the default. If we look at the lexical gap, and this is one of our biggest pain points, then we see that whereas an average pre-literate child is using 4,000 to 6,000 words, we see that even the most proficient Proloquo to Go users, so the top 1% of our users, doesn't even reach that average amount of words that a pre-literate child can use. So we still have the feeling that that we have a lot, that there was a big gap that we needed to cover. So even though Proloquo to Go has been out there and has been quite a commercial success, we found that we needed to take a step back, reflect, and completely start over again from scratch. So what was our solution? We brainstormed a lot, and we sat a lot together, and we ate food, and we thought some more, and we brainstormed some more. And at a certain point, we felt that we needed to come up with a service, an AAC service, because we felt that the parents that are out there, that first step that we would like to take them to AAC, that step is so big. We wanted to see if we could make that step a little bit smaller. So we wanted to create a service where that parent can turn to. And the premises that we had was that if a parent can understand, learn, and use AAC, they will model it more. And we also had the assumption that if a parent can understand, learn, and use AAC, teachers and paraprofessionals and SLPs will. So we decided that we were going to create an AAC app that's robust and yet easy to learn and use. And we wanted to have an accomplishing coaching app with that, a guiding app with that for parents and educators to help them on their AAC journey. So this is where we created 2 new apps. One of them is Proloquo, and within Proloquo you will find the vocabulary that we call crescendo evolution. The objectives for Proloquo and crescendo evolution was that it needed to help those pain points where the parent was overwhelmed and it was hard to learn and hard to use. So we wanted it to be easy to learn, not overwhelming, easy to understand the model. So we created Proloquo and Crescendo Evolution. It's easy on the eyes, at least we hope it is. It has a relatively small grid size. It's efficient. You will find a static core that you will find throughout the whole vocabulary. It makes use of tabs, and there is a data-informed word selection. So the words that we selected there are words that are actually being used. It's easy to learn. There's a shallow hierarchy. You can't get lost within your vocabulary, and there's a fixed modal plan for every concept, and it's unbreakable. You can't mess it up. There's a fixed vocabulary, a fixed one grid size, a fixed base vocabulary. Everything you put in there yourself, you can get rid of it, but everything that's already in the base, it's there, and it's there for you to learn and use, and you can't get rid of it. So no one can take your words away when you don't want them to. We also wanted it to be robust, comprehensive, and quote-oriented. So for the robust, we said that we wanted to have easy access to core, fringe, grammar, and the alphabet. We wanted it to be appropriate for all ages, so that it's comprehensive and inclusive, and that you can grow it, because the vocabulary, all words, when you grow, all words are there, the words that you need. It needed to support vocabulary and literacy development. I've stated there related words. I will show you in a minute what I mean with that. And it's expandable, so there's still ample space for your users to create your own words. The vocabulary needed to be efficient and complete. So it's efficient. An average word takes you about 1.6 steps. It's the same as the 7x11 default grid that we've advised for Proloquo to go. It's complete. There's over 12,000 words built in, and 3,200 buttons are actually symbolized. There's 3 times as many words in there as you will find in Proloquo to go, or Speak for Yourself, or Lamb's Word for Life. And the words that you will find in there matters. So 98% of the words that you will find in there are used in the most common AAC phrases that we could find. So we looked up 49 lists of in total 16,000 words, and we made sure that the words that were in there are covered by the vocabulary. And those lists were words of curriculum vocabulary list, and also the phrases that adult AAC users use when they use their AAC system. And it's ready for the curriculum. So there's 3 times as many curriculum words in there as in Proloquo to go or other AAC apps. So probably you don't need to customize it as much when you're going to use it in a school setting. And we wanted to make a little comparison. So when Barbara and David went to Communication Matters last summer, they took an article out of Vulture, and the headline was predicting this season of the Great British Bake Off based on a cast photo. And we tried to make the sentence with Proloquo to go. So within Proloquo to go, there were 4 words missing when we were creating this sentence. And you needed 2.4 tabs per word. And within Proloquo, all the words were present, and you still needed 2.4 tabs per word. So how does that look like? Well, I can show you. Let me see. Now you're going to see yourself for a second. Sorry for this.
I'm going to see myself.
Sorry.
We're actually at 15 minutes already, Willemijn. So
yes, I am going. I'm going. Okay, so this is Proloquo. As I said, this is the static. This is the core page. It's easier on the eye. It has a smaller grid size. In the top, you will find tabs. When you tap them, it will open up the tab underneath it. We didn't give them a label, because we found out that people have more. They relate which concepts that are underneath there. Once you see a concept like a word like good, you will see that we've taught in concepts. As soon as you tap the word good, there's 2 rows popping up, which is your related words. Those are the same as the concept good, but then a little bit more nuanced, like amazing or excellent or just fine or super. And there is your inflection row. You don't need to use these words, but you could. So when I tap them, the word change and my inflections change as well. Chat is there on the homepage because there's a lot of words in there that people made an effort to actually find. And once you go into the French words, you can see that we've put all the French words in yellow there. We've made it a little bit, we've made sure that the words are categorized on in a scientific way. So there's no breakfast, lunch, or dinner in there anymore, but you will find words where you will actually find them in the category that they belong to. It's quite easy to add something. So if I go to a school folder and I want to add a word like board, I can go and add a word in there. And as you will see, we have taught in concepts. So if I want to add a word like board, then you can see that the system is going to ask me which board I mean. So I might be talking about the school board, then you will see the related words popping up here, but I might be talking about something like a committee, or I might be boarding up a school, boarding up a window, or talking about a board game or anything like that. And it will help me through it. Very quick demo.
Very quick demo.
Yeah,
yes.
But I've
you stopped sharing your screen.
No, I've lost my screen. Very quick demo. So I think I lost my screen. So that's probably my cue. Barbara.
Okay, my cue. So I will stop. For the people who don't know, we are normally using Zoom. So Team is a whole new different format. So we're trying to do our best to make technically work. But I will start sharing my screen. And I think if I can move this around, I think you will see my screen. Willemijn, do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so Willemijn already talked about the objectives for Proloquo and gave a quick demo about Proloquo. And I'm going to share something about Proloquo Coach. Proloquo Coach is actually a coaching app, and it's designed for parents and other non-experts. It has accessible language. And I realize now that I'm talking about a 5th grade reading level, which is actually a grade in the US. And if I remember correctly, it's like language around the age of 11, 12, 13 years. So it's very easy to read. Proloquo Coach is spaced. It has learn and practice chapters in small steps. And I know this is just information sharing, but I will show it in a couple of seconds. The learn section has small manageable chunks of knowledge. So we share information in easy to read chunks of text. The practice section has small doable assignments, which are actually also fun to do. And we ask you to reflect on the things you've learned and the things you've done by giving you a quiz with 3 questions that you can answer with true or false. There's a lot of interaction in the app, so we will send you reminders. We ask questions to the team, and we share a lot of information. And to give you a quick demo, and now I hope this works, and actually it does. You see my iPhone over here. And if I open my iPhone, you will see Proloquo Coach. And Proloquo Coach is like a book. So it has several books with information. Welcome to Assistive Proloquo Coach. Learn about AAC. Everyone can learn, getting to know Proloquo, all the way up to, at the end, some separate communication functions like requesting, get attention, make choices, but also describe and direct, or greet and share about yourself. If I open one of the books, and let me see, let's do make communication connections. You will find a lot of learn chapters. And next to that, you will find the practice chapters. If I open one of the learn chapters, let's say attribute meaning, you will find a visual, you will find a small piece of text, and actually a video about attribute meaning. If I go back and I go to the practice, we will ask you to practice attribute meaning. Here you have the visual again, pieces of text of things you can do, and this is actually a visual of an external resource, no, not from us. All the books in Proloquo Coach have the learn and the practice. What we mean by pace is that you need to go over all the learn first before you can go to the practice. And actually, I see I haven't done one yet, which is actually quite funny. And at the end, I can say I finished it. What's more to see in Proloquo Coach? So now you see my coach in dark mode, and for the ones who find it easier, I can also switch to light mode. And on the bottom of the screen, you will find home, where we are now. And next to that, you'll find Proloquo. And here you can see the use of Proloquo I did in the last 2 weeks. It's not that we track data in there. So if you create a team in Proloquo or in Proloquo Coach, we will see we look at the usage in the last week and this week, and we put everything together. So we can say, okay, school used Proloquo for 5 hours and mom did it for 3 hours. It's everything together. And this is actually, it's more like a motivation tool. So you can compare your own use to your own use of last week. Next to Proloquo, you will find the support section, which actually consists of an FAQ section. And it needs to load, sorry. It's a long list of FAQs. We still need to make this better, but for example, you can search for modeling and it will give you a lot of examples of FAQs that are about modeling. The other thing in support you can do is that you actually can send us a message. So I will send our support team a message. And I think today it's Patty and Isabel. And I can send them a message. And they can see that you will get an automatic reply that your message is being sent. And it could be that they respond and give an answer back. But in this way, you can connect with our support team 24/7. We have support members all over the world, and they can answer your question and they can give you some help. The other thing, and I'm not going to press that one, but actually you can also link here to our Facebook group that we have. It is a closed group with all people in there that use Proloquo and Proloquo Coach. The other thing that you can see here on the bottom is that you can change your profile. So my profile is Barbara. I'm also the AAC user in this case. And here you will find some learning examples. That's over here. And you will see that this is for at home. But if I open it, I can also go to at school. What we did, and you will see that this is a beta, what we did is that we changed the school examples we changed the home example to school examples, for example. That sounds strange, but I think you know what I mean. I think this is actually the main thing I wanted to share about Proloquo Coach. Some practical information, Willemijn?
So some practical information. As Barbara already told you a little bit, there's a basic model. You buy one license per AAC user. You can share that license with the whole team. So once you've purchased Proloquo for an AAC user, you can share that. You can invite someone to download Proloquo from the App Store as well. Create an Assistive account, and they will get access to the team that you've invited them to. They don't need to pay, so because they are using the vocabulary of that user. So they don't need to pay. It's the idea is that the more people who have access to the vocabulary, the more that can model, and the more that the AAC user will grow and learn in its communication. Then there are a few different licenses that you could purchase. Every AAC license has a 1 month free trial. So the Proloquo license have a 1 month free trial, so you can sign up and then the first month's for free. After that, you can either pay £8.99 per month or yearly £89.99 pounds. It's a subscription, and people that are users that are currently using Proloquo to go, they get a discount. I believe it's a 6-month discount, but I'm not completely sure. You can find that on our website. There are some special licenses for insurance and for students, and there's a 1 to 5 year license that you could purchase. We have evaluation licenses. They are a 1 year license for free for everyone who is out there and evaluating AAC users and help them to find the best AAC for them to use. You can ask for them via our support team via the website, and we are setting up a classroom pilot with classrooms all over the world. At this moment, we are granting them classroom licenses, which will help you set up a complete group of iPads that you can use in one classroom, and that everyone in the classroom or in the school gets access to their AAC. Barbara? I can't move anything.
No, I know, and maybe it's because I want to share with you that I sent a message to Patty and Isabel, and we got an auto reply, and then Patty responded.
Quick.
Said, "Hi Barbara, we are doing well. How are you doing today, Patty?" And I said, "Fine, thank you. Just showing Proloquo Coach to CENMAC. I hope I spelled it correctly." And Patty just said, "I hope everyone is enjoying it." Patty just wanted to show you that they respond very quickly. And another thing we wanted to share today is that if you want to learn more, go to our website, www.assistiveware.com, and there you will find a product page about Proloquo and Proloquo Coach, where there is a lot of information. And next to that, we have some blogs with an in-depth explanation of these new apps, and you will find the visuals about them here below. I think that's it. And now
three minutes for questions.
Now there's my challenge. How did I? Yes.
Oh, well done.
Actually.
Fantastic. That was a brilliant presentation. Thank you so much. And thank you for persevering with Teams when I know it's not your preferred method of delivering, but that was a brilliant presentation. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I don't know if there's anyone on the call who has any questions. If you'd either like to unmute yourself and just call out your question, or you can type something in the chat if you would like to, if you've got any comments or questions.
Valerie is saying thank you. So thank you, Valerie.
And thank you. Welcome.
And if one of you has a classroom that they would like to get in the classroom pilot, feel free to send us a message and join.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Lovely. And how can people get in touch with you after this?
So the first way we can get in touch with us, support at Assistive, where I need to type it right way. I'm typing it typing it in the chat.
Ah, lovely.
Assistiveware.com. And they they can refer to other people.
Okay, yeah, brilliant.
And that's the same for every question you have about a product. So if it's about Proloquo or Proloquo Coach or Proloquo to Go, Proloquo for Text, all the other products, you can always reach out to support, and they will be there to answer the questions. Lovely,
that's great. I don't think there are any questions coming through. I think that was a really well presented bit of information about everything. So thank you very much again. I'll stop the recording now. And thanks everyone for joining.
Yes, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you for giving us this time.